Hi everyone, this is Astera. I hope that you are doing fine today. I'm back with the second part of my video on how to spot that you are bullied at work and what sort of behaviors presented by your boss on regular basis, presented persistently, may be considered bullying. So yesterday I finished with work overload and changing deadlines, and just to quickly go back to that, in every job we sometimes need to do longer hours. It may be that sometimes we need to spend some hours of our weekends on preparing an assignment, but as long as it's not a daily practice or a weekly practice or a monthly practice, if it's not happening day after day, a week after week, and a month after month, that's not bullying. But if it's a persistent pattern, then you can consider it bullying. And the same with changing deadlines. If there is no particular reason why different deadlines for assignments are being changed, maybe sometimes even on daily basis, that may be bullying. A real life example would be that you agree with your boss that you and your team will prepare a specific assignment in a 3 weeks time and present it to your boss. That's a difficult assignment that requires lots of calculations, doing a statistical program. You need to prepare a PowerPoint presentation as well, takes time, and then you have lots of other things you need to work on. And then suddenly, the same week on Wednesday, you hear that, well, everyone actually have to present it on Monday morning. And that means that you would be spending the rest of the week and the weekend doing very long hours to prepare this assignment. And that's bullying if it happens on a regular basis, because if there is no external reason that is justifying this sort of behavior, that's not a justified behavior. So there is something underneath, yeah, and that's bullying. What happens to people who are bullied is often that their work is undermined. The quality of their work can be undermined, and their skills can be undermined on a daily basis, or almost on a daily basis. And again, if there is no objective reasons for that, and yet you are still being undermined and the quality of your work is undermined, then it's bullying. A real life situation could be that you produce high quality deliverables. Everyone around is actually praising on the quality of your work, including more senior members of staff and your boss, and yet you're being all the time criticized and all the time undermined, and the quality of your work is undermined without any reason. Then another thing that comes with that is pretty often the removal of responsibilities. So if you are in a position which is, let's say, a middle level position, and you may be even supervising some junior member of staff, you are maybe leading or co-leading different projects. Your responsibilities require some level of expertise that junior member of staff do not have, and yet at some point it starts occurring to you that the assignments that you're getting are much below your expertise, much below your qualifications, and you may end up being assigned only tasks that are very menial. For example, you're in a middle level position and you may be doing data entry or data cleansing or writing minutes from meetings only on a daily basis. And that's definitely not something that can be justified. This is bullying. Then another thing that comes along is making someone feel useless. So if you are given only very easy tasks, that means that the tasks that you should be actually given, they are either assigned to someone else, some other team members, or your boss has taken them over themselves without any objective reason. Yeah, because of course, if there is an objective reason for that, that's not bullying. But if you are not told why that happened, You are not even told that it would be happening. There is no objective reason like the poor quality of your work or anything else, and that is what is happening. That can be considered bullying. So you can be coming to work, you can be either given very easy tasks that you shouldn't be doing, or you may be actually sitting not doing anything, and when you tell the boss that you are ready for work, you are here, you can do something, that will not get any response. So that's something that is considered bullying too. And another thing would be when you can't get your assignments, previous assignments back from your boss, because sometimes you need some revision or a review or something like that from your boss to continue your work on some previous assignments that you had. And if it happens that you send a few assignments to them 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, and you can't get anything from them, and you are reminding them that they have those assignments and you are waiting for their review, and yet nothing is happening for months or long weeks, that's also making you feel useless at work, and that's bullying. Then another thing is minimizing. When you bring this, what is happening, all those things that I've just mentioned, to the attention of your boss, because that's the first thing that the HR department will tell you if you think that you are bullied. They will tell you to talk to your line manager, which is your boss, and you are bringing it up either face-to-face or in an email, which is a better way because at least you have evidence you did that. You bring it up, you require or you ask for some action here on your manager's boss, on your boss's side, and you never get any reply. You are never contacted about it with your boss, or sometimes you may get some deceitful answer why those things are happening, and but there is nothing that would justify this sort of behaviors, and it's minimized, and you may even be called delusional or hard to collaborate with or something like that if you start bringing up those concerns. And then another thing is criticism. Yeah, you may be receiving criticism on a daily basis without any objective reasons. Your work can be criticized, your skills can be criticized, or maybe the way that you dress, even if there is nothing wrong with it and it's not against the dress code. So persistent criticism without any objective reasons. Another thing can be a projection of blame if you are blamed for something which is not your fault. An example here could be that your boss was in charge of a project maybe a year or 2 years ago. They didn't even know you at that time, and then they have the data to analyze. And when you start analyzing the data you were assigned to that, it starts turning out that the research design of that project was quite bad, and that was the responsibility of your boss. And yet, when the boss can't get what he wanted from the data, and what he thought was possible wasn't, because of this design that wasn't the best, they don't take the blame, they blame you. It's not their fault, it's your fault, and you're sabotaging their work. Yeah, so that can be one. Then another thing is rationalization. When your boss does all those things, throws tantrums, etc., they always rationalize why that's happening, and that's always because the team members don't work properly or don't work in the way that the boss expects them. There is always some explanation. And the last thing I wanted to say is the seduction technique, and that's not necessarily about sexual seduction, but it can be a part of it. It's your boss being very flattering, being overly kind to you, and that is done only because they, for example, want you to do long hours in the office, work on the weekends. They may promise you quicker progression, etc. This is to make you do something that you wouldn't do otherwise. I hope it helps you. Thank you for watching, and see you soon. Bye.